Okay, well, welcome, everyone. We are Greg and Minna. We're going to get this started. For those who are participating from the United States, most people have the day off, so they may or may not be participating. In fact, I'm getting calls from my friends right now in the US. So people wishing us, obviously, Memorial Day here, where we remember the people that have been lost, obviously, in battles and things like that. Obviously, in the military. So obviously, we're always remembering what Jesus did for us, but obviously what also our veterans have done for us, for our country. So we always want to recognize the people for that specifically for anytime we do this. So this is an international meeting today. So obviously we're talking about international, but obviously here in the US, we're celebrating Memorial Day. So we want to do that, but we want to welcome everyone here today. I am recording this because obviously we've got quite a few people that they got other plans, or at the beach, they're at the, doing picnics, all kind of different things, barbecues, but obviously we're very excited to be here and share this amazing, phenomenal, if you want to hand me that, she's got on this side of the table here.
Sorry.
Amazing, awesome technology with you. If you haven't been patched yet, that's the one thing we want to make sure you do is you get patched, because it has changed our lives. I'll kind of kick us off, and we'll talk a little bit more about this amazing product.
Yeah, so thank you all for jumping on. For those of you in the United States, thank you for taking the time to be here with us. And for those of you in South Africa and around the world in Europe, we are so grateful to have you all on. So Greg and Minna Warmbier, we are not medically trained professionals at all. So we are not here to tell you that this amazing product is going to heal, give you a miracle, diagnose any symptom that you have, but we do know, or treat, but we do know that it's changing so many of our friends and families' lives around the world that we feel it is our social responsibility to share this. We also want to let you know that we are this presentation is in two parts. Okay, the first half of it is going to be the presentation where we share the product and what the product is doing and how it works. And then the second half, we will transition to the opportunity. Now, there may be some new people on here. I see a lot of new names. So please, if you're not interested in the opportunity, you can jump off at that point in time. We just want to get the information to you. And for those of you who are on here for the opportunity, we will go through a high-level presentation of that. We want to keep it under an hour. Do take notes. And if you are on here, someone has invited you, please do get back with the person that invited you. Please do get back with the person that invited you.
No, just meeting, Jess.
So we're just keeping everybody on mute so that we can get through the presentation, and we'll open up later for questions. But please get back with the person that invited you to this presentation. And also, if we don't know you and you don't know us, and it's your first time being here, just put in the chat, you know, who you are, who invited you, so that we're aware of that, because we have some people who've invited guests, but for whatever reason, they personally cannot be on. So we just want to know who that is. Okay, so bless you, and do sit back, take some notes, and let's get going.
Yeah, so one thing that we always let people know, because once again, my background's in business consulting. My wife's business background, obviously, she's an attorney from South Africa. And so obviously there's a lot of people here from Europe, from South Africa, people are tying in. That's what we call our international meeting. We've had other people jump in from New Zealand and Australia, depending on the time they have there. But it's pretty amazing all the business you can do around the world. But to give a little background on us specifically, we've always been very healthy. We try to eat right. We drink the right kind of water. We do all kinds of different things that make a big difference to stay healthy. But unfortunately, back in 2016, I had a car accident where someone plowed into the back of my car, which I rammed in front of me to a van in front of me and a truck in front of them. I was at a standstill. Everybody else was, while the other person was unfortunately texting like this, whatever, and slammed into the back of me going about 60 miles an hour, damaged my neck, my shoulder, my back. My life changed after that, and literally was not good. I'll just put it that way. And so then months or years later, on 9/11/2021, we had an exercise we did with all these firefighters and all these people, part of a group called F3, where there's a tower here in in Sarasota, Florida here, that actually is a 5-story building that we go up and down the stairs. I get stairs on the outside of both sides of the building. So we went up and down that building 18 times to represent them on the stairs of fighter fighters climbed on 9/11. It was a great event. We did a lot of fundraising. It was fantastic. Unfortunately, I slipped and tripped and injured my left knee, which was not good. And then months later, my right hip started bothering me. I'm like, oh boy. So now it's even more issues going on. And then my life changed about 20 months ago when my friend said, hey, have you checked out these stem cell activation patches? I was going to chiropractor every single week, but probably spending $400 to $500 a month on just different types of therapies and different types of stuff. And he told me about this. I said, well, what does it do exactly? He told me a little bit about it, researched a little bit. I said, I'll try anything. Well, 3 days later, no knee pain, no hip pain, no shoulder pain, no neck pain, no back pain, gone. I'm like, what in the world is this? How does this thing work? And literally our life has been changed ever since. I went to my chiropractor a week later because I canceled my appointment that Monday, and he couldn't even adjust me. He said, you're perfect homeostasis. He was blown away. I wish I would have videotaped him because he went on for 20 minutes of why this is going to help so many people. And we've now been helping people all over the world. We got business in 23 countries around the world. And we're excited about helping people. So when you see here, it talks about we talk about elevating copper peptide, specifically a GHK copper peptide in our body, which activates our own stem cells, which regenerates our body. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that, and how it works is pretty phenomenal. So I'll have my wife talk a little bit more about David Schmidt and the patents.
So David Schmidt is the CEO and the inventor of X39. He has over 130 patents. Now, I don't know who of you have a patent, but great for you. We don't. We do understand, my background being law and having colleagues and friends who specialize in registering patents, that it takes a lot of work and a lot of money, a lot of research. And he is the scientist and the inventor, and he specializes in age reversing. In 2008, he focused his attention on this patch here, the stem cell. In fact, he focused his attention on stem cell research, and recent patent for this particular product took 10 years and $4.5 million to bring to market.
Yeah, I'm very excited for people like this that take their time to help us out, which is pretty amazing.
So as I stated, it's a patented technology. It was registered in July of 2020. And in fact, it still has 17 years to run on this patent. It is registered, it is a legal document, and anything, if you understand patents, you can't just register a legal document like this unless you can prove that there is nothing like this that actually exists anywhere, okay? The other thing is you have to also prove the allegations that you're making, or the facts that you're stating. If you state the product does certain things, you have to prove those things. And so I'm really grateful that it's been proven already. And I'm just going to read this little excerpt from the patent. It says that it's the beneficial effect, at least by providing phototherapy to human body, and for example, in some embodiments as a result of elevating copper peptide. Now, if you don't know what that means or what copper peptide is, go look at that. Go look at the thisisatinfo.com, which is the website. You'll see a lot on that, including activation of stem cells, improvements in energy, elevation of antioxidants, which we all know is a good thing, reduction in inflammation, management of pain, improvement in stamina, elevation of collagen production, improved wound healing. That's a lot of great things. So I don't know if any of you have challenges with that, but honestly, we know a lot of our friends who've had 1 or 2 or 3 of these issues that have had great results just using the products.
And having this in the patent, again, they got all the different case studies to prove it. It's pretty phenomenal when we talk about this. So one thing I didn't know about, maybe you know this, but again, I never knew that how stem cells worked. I knew that a little bit about it because I knew a guy who did stem cell injections. I did marketing for him as a business consultant and helped him out with that. So I knew a little bit about how it works and the results that he had because I saw all these testimonials, but I didn't realize that once again, once you get older, so think about growing up as a baby and then growing and growing to you say 17, 18, 19, 20, and you stop growing. Well, then the stem cells start deactivating or basically becoming less and less active over time. So by the time you're 30, you have half the stem cell activity that you have at the basically when you're younger, compared to when you're younger, you have only half the activity. And by the time you're 60, we talk about 5 to 10% maybe based upon your lifestyle, your health, and things like that. Thus the reason for the wrinkles, the hair loss, all the different things that happen over time, and why people don't, you know, remember things, they forget things, they have injuries more, they don't recover as fast, all these kind of things happen. So this is a form, it's actually a unique form of phototherapy that that we basically have, which is kind of interesting. So they use what they call patented nanocrystals, and it's kind of hard to see them in here, but again, the nanocrystals are in there in the center there that basically reflects their own light. So it basically acts almost like a mirror. It reflects, so our own body's heat and light hit the patch, reverse back into our body, activate what's called GHK copper peptides that activate our stem cells. That's what took them 10 years and $4.5 million of research and all these different studies they did over and over and over and over to basically find the right frequency our body pushes out, because our body pushes out heat and light and basically push out a frequency. So the way it was kind of explained to me at one time, someone said, imagine these were two magnets. They would stick together all day long, but if you flipped one over, also they repel each other. Well, that's kind of what this does. It kind of repels it and reflects it back in to our own body. And so it's non-transdermal. Nothing from the patch goes in the body. There's no drugs, no chemicals, no stimulants, and it's non-evasive, which to me was what we were looking for. We like healthy things, but things that aren't going to have side effects and all kinds of challenges and different things like that. So my wife being the attorney, I always have her read the fine print on the bottom.
So we have to give the disclosures. Lifewave products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. So this is a topography map. It's a scan that was taken of a 77-year-old woman. David Schmidt wanted to show inflammation in the brain, and he asked this lady to be as consistent as possible, to place the patch on the back of her neck, to stay hydrated, and to wear it day in, day out over a period of time. Session 1 shows the scan of her brain prior to putting the patch on the back of her neck. And his explanation is those bright colors, the bright reds, bright orange, bright yellows, are inflammation in the brain. And when one has inflammation in the body, it slows down the cells. They don't conduct themselves or act as they should. And so it's a lack of brain coherence when one looks at that in the brain. Session 2 is just 3 weeks later. You see a lot of the bright colors are no longer there. So they have detox. That's his explanation. They've detoxed, the inflammation is detoxed out of the brain, and there's improved brain coherence. Session 3, same lady doing the same thing consistently, day in, day out, staying hydrated. Session 3, only 6 weeks later, a complete turnaround. You see a lot of the green and the blue hues, which are very light colors, if you know anything about color and how it affects one. And he says that pretty much a complete turnaround and better brain coherence. We find people, our friends of ours and even ourselves, you know, people not worrying as much, people's moods are so much better. And so the person that was interviewing David Schmidt when he presented this said, well, you know, if people just eat healthy and drink good water and supplement right, you know, just live a good life, can they not achieve a similar state as in the 6-week session 3? And David Schmidt said they could probably get that, but it will take so much longer than 6 weeks. It's going to take probably a lot of months and maybe even over a year for some people to achieve that state. And then the other thing that was asked was, or stated by David Schmidt is, you know, he just took a scan of this lady's brain, but he said, if I scanned her entire body, it probably would have looked like it did for the brain in session 1. So, you know, I don't know if you know anything about inflammation. I think a lot of us have realized that inflammation is what causes, it's the root cause of every disease, you know. So detoxing of that is not a bad thing.
Yeah, and it's interesting that they've done so many of these different ones. This is an example of just one person, but they said an example for this again is that when you look at some of the different things, one of the doctors even took a look at this. He said this is the best anti-inflammatory he's ever seen. And again, a lot of people are taking pills for anti-inflammatories, and sometimes there's a lot of side effects and things like that. There's nothing like that. So there's a lot of benefits to X39. This is just some of them. So we can highlight a lot of them. But once again, increased strength. We've noticed that for a lot of people. I've noticed that for myself as far as the workouts that we do, everything else, but just people in general. They're like, I feel stronger. I feel more planted. I got better balance. Reduce inflammation is what we just showed there. Increased stamina is something that a lot of people are looking for. Increased energy and vitality. Oh my goodness, this is what everybody seems to be looking for. They're drinking all kinds of drinks and taking all kinds of pills and doing all kinds of different things, injections and all kinds of stuff to basically for energy and vitality. What if you could automatically, by doing this, start increasing your natural levels of energy and vitality to where you were when you were younger, right? And so mental clarity is a big part of that too. When they talk about what you showed, there was a brain balance. So mental clarity, once again, it's like walking out of a fog. For me, it was like, I don't even know, it was 2-3 weeks later after using the patch, I felt like I walked out of a cloud because I had, I don't know what they call that, but basically brain fog from COVID and stuff like that. I'm like, well, what in the world is going on? You walk into a room and you're going, why am I here? What's going on here? I mean, more than normal. I mean, and it's pretty amazing. So we talk about, you know, all these different things that we suffer with. How would you like to get these things taken care of? Restored muscle and skeletal conditions. That was one thing that chiropractors talk about. They see that normally with that, even like when my chiropractor within a, you know, basically, you know, week and a half later, Lily said to me, he goes, you know, I can't even adjust you. That is literally when you talk about restored muscle and skeletal conditions. But we've had people, Mena, you've had somebody with a, what was it, a flat foot?
So in fact, Anna Willoughby, who's on Anna Hughes' team, she had a flat foot. And I mean, from what I understand, she was born with a flat foot, so she had no arch. And wearing this for a matter of a few months, she said that her boyfriend said to her, "What on earth is going on with your foot? You have an arch." And she didn't even realize it. She was like, "Oh my gosh." And I asked her, and this was probably a stupid question, like, "Why didn't you take a before and after?" She's like, "I had no idea that was going to happen." Like, right. I did not expect that to happen. She was wearing this for other reasons and not because she had a flat foot, you know, but thank God that was an added bonus for her.
Yeah. And then you want to talk about
and improvement of sleep is absolutely amazing. Because that was one of my biggest things. I, for the longest time, struggled to sleep. You know, being a lawyer, you go to bed with everybody's problems. You worry about what you're doing. Have you made the right decision, etc., etc. And so I would really struggle to fall asleep, and I couldn't understand. Like, Greg would just put his head on a pillow, and I'm like, what on earth? Like, how does that happen? You know? And so about a week and a half after using the products, I had the most amazing night's rest. And when I say it was a rest, it was a deep, deep sleep, to the point that when I woke up, I felt rested. I felt energized. I didn't have the sluggish drag in the morning. I was up and ready to go, bouncing out of bed. And it's been like that ever since. And, you know, putting my head on the pillow at night, I'm gone. And if I wake up in the middle of the night for whatever reason, my head's back on the pillow and I'm gone again. And I really honestly believe that, you know, I mean, it's really, really helped me with my thought process, with my own emotions and well-being. But I understand from also medical professions that if you do not sleep properly, your body, I mean, health-wise, it does affect your body.
Absolutely. We need rest and recovery for rejuvenation. And so, and that's even when you talk about how it affects your skin and your hair, things that once again, we talk about increasing collagen levels. We'll talk about that. But again, my hair is thicker now. I've got a balding spot that's basically filling in now. It's like all these different things. My wife's skin is like butter smooth.
And the like, ability, sorry, I forgot to mention the dreaming.
Oh yeah,
dreaming.
that's another thing.
I was not dreaming.
No.
And now I dream every single night. I'm like, wow. And I actually remember my dreams.
Yeah. Sometimes she tells him they're a little kind of weird. But anyway, so no, just kidding. So again, but if people like the idea of fine lines, wrinkles, different things going away, it's amazing what happens. And even we've seen literally, and again, we can talk more about this, but actually people that have scars start to disappear. And literally we've had this for a lot of people disappear. So again, we can go on and on and on, but once again, achieving optimal health, a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. That's what everybody's looking for. And people are using all kinds of different stuff where they get excited and it goes on, because especially if you're drinking energy drinks or whatever stuff, whatever, all those different things out there that people do to try to create optimal health. But again, we can do that naturally by just making our body function better. So this is amazing. So long-term studies on this on thisisitinfo.com. So hopefully everybody here has gone to that website. If you haven't, when we get done, you can do a deep dive into all the different things there. We'll talk more about that. But the crazy part about this is that the first few days, 4,000 genes begin to reset. I still don't understand this completely. Like I said, I'm not a medical doctor. We've heard people talk about genetics, but they say when your genes begin to reset to a younger state, your body becomes healthier in so many different areas. And when we talk about that, your body basically goes into a reboot. Now, I've heard people talk about resveratrol, which is in red wine, and then people talk about how that's such a great thing. It actually resets genes. Well, it resets 2 genes. This resets over 4,000. So when you talk about, once again, all these things that start happening to your body, imagine if your computer started bogging down and you're like, why is this not working? I'm like, what's going on here? What do? Do you keep on trying to work on it? Or do you say, okay, it's time to reboot the computer? And that's what people do. Your body now goes into reboot, and basically your body starts basically going into a healing state and detoxing out inflammation, detoxing out all kinds of different things, which is amazing. And then within 6 weeks, we talked about it again, brain becomes balanced. Now we've seen this happen. Again, they show that example. You can see it started happening within 3 weeks, but within 6 weeks, your brain becomes balanced. Within 3 months, your collagen level is increased. So men has always done collagen shots and just powders and all these kind of things that people take and stuff like that. Well, what if you could naturally increase your collagen levels? It's amazing how our bodies are meant to do this and how we already do this when we're younger. And within 6 months, your heart reverses in age. And the studies they did recently, they said within 6 months, on average, the average person reversed their heart rate or heart age 8 years. So I'm 53, but I feel like I'm in my 30s now, because I used to feel like I was in my 60s or 70s with all the aches and pains getting out of bed. It was just like, it was horrible. I'm like, how do people live like this? And now I feel like in my 30s, it's absolutely phenomenal. So this is a fact. When David Schmidt quotes this, it's pretty amazing. This is not anti-aging, it's age reversing. And our body, we're not going back in time, but what happens is our body does act younger and younger. It's pretty phenomenal what can happen. So how we wear this is pretty simple. We wear 12 hours on, 12 hours off. My normal regimen is 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Everybody's a little different. It's just too funny because I said if you get up at 7 a.m., you want to put it on at 7 and take it off at 7. It doesn't have to be exactly 12 hours, but we always recommend you want to stimulate and activate for 12 hours and then rest and rejuvenate basically for 12 hours. And you get your best rest and rejuvenation at night. So I got an alarm on my phone. I tell people set an alarm at 9 a.m. And then basically have an alarm set at 9 p.m. I was at a chamber event, managing chamber event here locally, and literally at 9 o'clock, all these alarms in the room start going off because those are people on our team. I just started laughing because mine went off at the same time. So people were putting the patches on. It was funny. But once again, at 9 o'clock at night, throw it out, put a new patch on the next day and just repeat over and over and over. We've been doing this now for what, 19, almost 20 months now. And then the last part is drink lots of good water. Once again, a lot of people drink a lot of sodas, all kinds of stuff. That's not good for you, but even if you drink lots of water, it helps once again with a detox, especially mineral water or spring water is going to help. And adding electrolytes makes a big difference also to basically maintain your body to be healthy, which is pretty cool. So we have a lot of testimonials that we want to share. We can go over different things. We got someone live on here, and Rose is on here, correct?
Yeah, Rose.
Okay, and so she's going to share in a minute. But once again, we always like to highlight a couple different things. Like once again, we got a lot of doctors that are involved. In fact, on our website, thisitit.info.com, you can scroll down to the very bottom and see the medical doctor section where people talk about this. The doctors are blown away by this. And this is another one. He's actually a plastic surgeon, does laser eyelid and facial plastic surgery. So one thing he talks about is a recovery time. They always want to see if they can actually enhance or actually improve the recovery time. So they've tried all kinds of different things for that, ointments and creams and all kinds of stuff. Imagine lasers removing layers of skin and doing all kinds of different things. Well, normally it's 5 to 7 weeks for recovery minimum. We've actually had someone we know that they use this doctor, and they said it was about 10 weeks for them. But again, he started using the patch. He said, I bet this will help out with the wound, healing actually, quicker. And he realized he did. So they started using it after the procedure, got better results. So he said, I bet if we do it prior to, well, now they're doing it 30 days prior to each of these different ones. He says it right in his video. He says 30 days prior to each of his patients doing the actual treatment or doing what they call the surgery itself. And he said now the time frame, instead of being 5 to 7 weeks, is 7 to 10 days. Now, again, this is a medical doctor. I'm using it for every single one as part of the protocol. And it's funny how they're getting phone calls from a lot of their patients saying, Doc, my shoulder doesn't hurt anymore, and I'm getting better sleep. I got better focus, man. I just feel good. This is happening. This happening. He goes, yeah, it's the patch. It's pretty amazing before they even have their procedure done. Here's another one, Dr. Leland Stillman. He's one of the people that talked about, he said, you talk about talk collagen. He said, this is one of the best things that increase your collagen level he's ever seen. And he's a professional, or basically an expert in light therapy. So he's got hundreds of thousands of dollars with equipment that people go to his place. They sit in these red light beds and all these different things. And he goes, well, what's this little thing going to do? He said, well, he said those red light beds are basically high level intensity for basically 15 to 30 minutes at a time. And where this is low level intensity or low level light therapy, basically over a long period of time. And he goes, that's interesting. He says, for 12 hours a day for this every day, he goes, I bet it would help complement. He realizes this helps over 99% of the stuff better than all of his other stuff that he does. Because it's just a consistent thing every single day you're doing. You're stimulating and rest and rejuvenating. And now he uses it for every single patient. So actually the video's right on our website. Take a look at him. And again, another person who's like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. And then we got so many other doctors talking about this. We're signing up doctors left and right. So again, when you talk about like just results, we love before and afters. We tell people, please take before and afters on this. But again, you look at day 1, what she looks like, day 42, basically almost a year later. I looked at that picture and I said, she looks like a younger sister. When I saw this on another video, this is her now. So if you can't notice a difference there, you might want to get your eyes checked. So I'm just telling you, this will help improve your eyesight. I'm joking. But again, you can see the difference is pretty amazing. Another one, here's someone with horrible bruising. They were working in the rafters, fell through the ceiling, broke 6 ribs, punctured a lung. You talk about extreme discomfort, right? I got a different word for that. But expected recovery was a minimum of 6 weeks. He was back to work within 3 weeks. Look at the dates here, the 17th and 30th, that's 13-day difference. So once again, you look at the difference on what happens in people's bodies, on what can happen. We've had another guy, same thing, that bruised his whole backside within 8 days because he had already been on the patches for 2.5 weeks. Within 8 days, he said he had these same kind of results. Pretty amazing thing. So again, people that have skin conditions, all kinds of different things. My wife had that. She had redness. In fact, I was holding her hand on the way to church yesterday again because she didn't like that before because it used to irritate her her skin, which was not good. Other people, like this guy, he has serious baggage, if you know what I mean. I mean, so you look at all the different things. I look at that he's smiling, you know, and he's happy. It just looks that much younger. I mean, it's pretty amazing the difference, right? So again, we love sharing testimonies.
So
And
Rose,
so, yes.
if you want to mute yourself, I know you're on here. I saw you earlier.
Yep.
So if you just want to unmute Rose, oh, I don't see her.
Did she disappear?
I'm there.
Oh, there she
Okay,
is.
there
Hey,
we go.
beautiful. So we've known Rose for several years, and literally when we heard about some of the challenges it had, one of our friends, I think it was Rudy, that actually said, reached out to Rose and said, "Hey, Rose, you know, we'd love for you to, you know,
Yeah.
oops, sorry, so I'm trying to make sure I got the volume up here. Utilize this, and we'd love for you to say again. So tell us, you know, who you are, where you live, and then also maybe some of the things that are going on. You look amazing."
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm Rose Barfield. I'm 76 years old, and I live in United States in Ohio. I've been on the patch for 10 months now. And if I get emotional, just deal with it. But Rudy, who I've known for a while, called me in the end of July, and he talked to me about the patches and how they could help me. And I said, you know, he says, I'll send you some samples. And I said, no, don't send me samples. Just sign me up and send me the patches. So that's what he did. Now, before the patches, I had breast cancer in 2018. Chemo drugs caused me to be legally blind and have, stage 4 cirrhosis. And my doctors at Cleveland Clinic, since I've been wearing the patches, my doctors at Cleveland Clinic all say, keep wearing the patches. They even have it on my medical records that I'm on X39. Also, my retinal specialist said that my eyes are turning around. Now, I had fallen into macular degeneration, and my right eye, which hemorrhaged from chemo drugs, started going blind. And the doctor told me it has gone from wet to dry. Now, that does not happen if anyone knows anything about macular, but it did. And he said just the other day that in August, I couldn't even see his fingers. And now I'm reading all the way down to the bottom. And I said, is there another line? They go, no, that's 20/20. So that's what's going on with my eyes. Now, I went through 5 surgeries within 1 year. I became very weak. I couldn't get up and down stairs without some help from my husband. I was on a walker and then a cane. Also, I'm trying to think. So much has happened. Everything on the list, I'm just checking off. Inflammation, mental clarity, insomnia has gone away. I had that for 5 years. That happened within the first couple days. I started getting more energy within the first couple days. My husband calls me the ever-ready buddy. This year, I was rototilling my garden. Mind me, I'm 76 years old. I feel like I'm about, I don't know, 59 or 60. And last year I was ready to give up. I told God, either take me or make me well. And that is when Rudy called. So I really appreciate everything Rudy said. I'm running up and down stairs now. I don't wear a cane anymore. I don't use a walker. My hair has been growing back in. My eyebrows are starting to grow back in. And even up here, I have hypothyroidism, and my hair, you can see it's growing back in. Also, my skin last summer was like, and I wear skincare, was like sand, and now it's very smooth from the collagen. I would say that happened about 3 months. So you have to give the patches some time to help you. It's not going to happen for most people overnight. Also, the mental clarity I have, I can't believe. I was feeling like I don't know, I just didn't want to get old, you know. I knew that the nursing home was next step, and I wasn't going to do that. And the patches just did so much for me. And I don't know, I'm just kind of nervous about all this. Also, the strength that I have, I couldn't even open a water bottle. Now I'm carrying groceries in the house. I wasn't able to take trays of food in and out of the oven. I'm able to do that. The other day, I hurt my shoulder. I had 2 shoulder replacements, and this is gross, right? You can't see the scars, can you? Nothing. It's like very thin line, and that all healed because the patches healed my my scars. So that's about it. I know there's more. I just can't think of everything. It's just my list keeps getting longer and longer. Yesterday, I woke up on the same spot I went to sleep in, which normally I flip back and forth. And I didn't move from the point I went to sleep until the point I woke up. And I don't know what else to say.
That is amazing, though. I mean,
Wow.
we got more of an update. I mean, because we've gotten updates from you and all these different things, including the doctor's letter you mailed to us, talking about how this has reversed your macular degeneration. I'm like, oh my goodness. And it is, it's like a checklist of all these things.
I go to Cleveland Clinic, and you know, they're one of the top hospitals. And the eye doctor, she said to me the other day that she's putting me in a research program to see if Cleveland Clinic will look at these patches, because they do have a holistic department. So I don't know how that's going to work, but I just can't tell you, if you give it time, just give it time and have patience month for month. Don't think that, oh, well, I don't feel anything. Well, inside your body is working. It's working on the inside of you. My husband has arterial fibrillation, and it took him 5 or 6 months before he actually felt anything. And his doctor said he's not in AFib anymore. He still has arterial fibrillation, but his heart rate's been normal. They took him off blood pressure pills since he's been on, and he has a bald spot, had a bald spot back here, that's gone, you know.
Awesome.
So, but it took him so much longer. Me, it was one thing after another, and every day it's something new is happening. But for my husband, it took him a lot longer.
Wow.
Yeah, because everybody is different. And then someone asked a question.
Yeah, so Jason has asked Rose, your cirrhosis, what has happened there?
Yeah. Has it improved?
Pardon me, I didn't get the question.
Cirrhosis.
Yes.
You mentioned cirrhosis.
Yeah.
The cirrhosis. Okay, the cirrhosis came from tamoxifen. It's a drug from chemo drugs. And the doctor, I went to him a couple months ago, and he did a fibroscan, which has not got worse. He thinks it's even getting a little better. Because the patch, I think, is helping with the fats and the blood pressure, and it's also helping with heavy metals for me. Now, this is for me, okay? Everybody's different, right? But my liver specialist, who is one of the top liver specialists at Cleveland Clinic in Cleveland, Ohio, downtown main campus, he's an old guy, and he said, keep wearing those patches.
Wow.
Amen. That's awesome.
And they also put me in a research program. They want to see how the patches are going to be working over the next 3 years.
Praise
Wow.
God. Yeah. And that's the
That's
thing that we
wonderful.
know we've been using this for just under 2 years now. It's been about 20 months, I guess it is now. And Lily, we're constantly seeing better improvements. We're hearing updates and we're getting updated Zoom. So thank you, Rose, for sharing. Because again, we just said we wanted to hear kind of more of an update, and we're just so excited for you. Look amazing. I mean, seriously, we love before and afters, and like I almost want to play the first video that we first did because it's a tremendous difference.
Yeah.
You look fantastic.
You're looking great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rose, for
And one more
sharing.
thing I
Appreciate it.
One more thing, I know I'm out of time. One more thing I want to say, and I said this in the first video, for those who are consider being a partner, just go out and talk to people. And I said this before, because if Rudy never called me, I don't know where I would be right now, because I will never stop wearing the patches, because I don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
No.
So talk to people and let them say no, thank you. You know, because it's just kind of unfair that we keep a secret. So don't be afraid to go out and talk to people, especially your family and friends.
Yeah.
Amen.
Thank
We agree
you.
100%. Thank you so much. We're
Great.
we're so excited for you because again, we're seeing this over and over and over again. Let me share my screen again because it's just we love hearing testimonials. We love we play a lot of recorded ones. I had one lined up in case you weren't available. But again, the thing is we always recommend is thisisitinfo.com. The people who work with Steve and Gina Merritt, Lily, have been very successful in this business, in this industry. And we talked to people about this. They said when they look for this, for a whole year, they prayed for a product, the right kind of product, the right kind of company, the right kind of ownership, which makes a massive difference. And obviously something that could benefit them, their friends, their family, and things like that. And they pray for God's favor. And they now have a massive organization around the world. We're just part of it. And they said, this is it. This is it. This is what we've been praying for. And they said, now we're called This Is It Team, which is pretty interesting. So if you go to This Is It Info, you can also at the very top click on what says testimonials. And there's all kinds of video testimonials on here. And we always want people to share information. And again, they're adding more and more and more and more on there. In fact, I got to redo mine. Mine was a little bit longer than they wanted. So one thing that we always recommend is getting started. So for those who say, hey, I'm just interested in the product, what do? You basically can order the product very simply. So again, we tell people we'd rather sell it to wholesale than retail. But again, if you say I just want to buy it at retail, you pay $150 for the retail price. But most people today say, hey, if I can get it at a wholesale price, why wouldn't I? They got to buy a few patches in order to do that. So we recommend what's considered a silver pack. And basically you get 3 sleeves. It's a 90-day supply because each sleeve has 30 patches in there. So it's a 1 month supply of the patches that's in there. So if you get 3 of them, that's for that. If it's a husband and wife, we recommend still 90 days each minimum. What the rule of thumb is how many decades that you've been alive is how many months you should be using that. So being 53, I should be using it 5 to 6 months minimum. The reason why is because you got to give your body a chance. And they even talk about with clinical studies and all these different trials. And they said anything needs at least 90 days. I mean, if a doctor gives you a prescription or something, he says you give it 90 days before they can make sure that's working right and everything else. So we have other packs we'll talk about from a business standpoint, but if you say, hey, I'm just interested in products, you might get back together with the person who recommended that you jump on, and they can get you started with that. Again, we always make recommendations, but we're gonna switch right now, and we're gonna go into the second part of our meeting, which is specifically talking more about the business. Always at this time of day, they're always
our landscapers
are here. They're like mowing and everything else is funny. But anyway, but it's funny that from a business standpoint, there's a reason why people do different things. And for us, I've got big reasons. My wife's got different reasons for anything else. But why would we want to even take on another way to create additional income? Most people today are looking for multiple streams of income, not just another stream of income, looking for multiple streams of income. And once again, this has been the best stream of income we've ever generated, we've ever seen. The number one thing for me was freedom. That basically, when someone asked me, I said, well, if you could double or triple your income, how would your life change? I said, I would do a lot of things different. They said, would you still be working your job? I said, no, I like what I do. I'm good at what I do, but I like the idea of freedom. Be able to do what I want to do when I want to do it, have the finances to do it the right way. And within 14 months, I was able to replace my income and walk into the land of living. I did that January of this year. It's been a phenomenal ride ever since. A lot of people are like, well, I just want security. I want to have an extra income just in case something happens. That was us too, because once again, we looked at what different things we do. Some people say, I'd like to travel. If I had more time, I could basically travel. If I have more money, I could basically, travel. A lot of people do staycations. You know, instead of going to a vacation, they stay home and do the honey-do list. I mean, unfortunately, and other people, they'll stay at someone else's house, a friend's house, because they can't afford to stay at a nice resort or a place or something like that. But again, having less debt, I like the idea of like eliminating it, getting rid of debt completely. But whatever's important to you, and I could spend a lot of time on this, but I want you to think about this for a minute. If you could double or triple your income, think about whatever money you're making. If you make that kind of money, how would your life change? What would you do differently? Because we're going to talk some pretty big income here. Because again, when we talk about an opportunity, when we talk to people about this product, people lean forward. They go, "What is that, and how do I get it?" I mean, it's a fact. I mean, it's amazing what happens. So the company, you want to talk about the company?
The company itself is 19 years old. In fact, they're going to be 20. It's going to be 20 years old in November. What is it? October of this year. Okay. But in fact, when we got started, I had never heard of Lifewave. And I don't know about you until somebody shared it with us. And they've grown from 20 million and they hit the 320 million US in 2020. And we closed off at around 430 million in the last part of last year, 2023, and we're predicted to be close to, more than 600 or 700 million at the close of this year, and $1 billion company in 2025. Open in over 75 countries. And I love this fact, okay? You know, we all know small business owners. We all, hear of essential oils, maybe a weight loss program. We hear of CBDs. We hear of supplements and hair care, skincare. And a lot of our friends are involved in small businesses. And we support that a lot, because they really have great products. So, but if I shared my great supplements with somebody, a friend of mine or a family member, they're telling me about a great supplement that they found, or they're telling me about a good skincare that they found. And, I love my stuff, they love their stuff. So it's always difficult to get a person to actually change, if they're so used to something. But when we share this, oh my goodness, if I ask someone, have they heard of the X39 stem cell activation patch? Probably 99.9% of people are saying no. Where on earth do I get this? And how fast can I get the product? And what does it do? And how do you use it? And so on. So there's a lot of interest out there. People are looking for something that's natural, something that's real, something that is helping their friends without the effects of big, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but big pharma.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is, people are just tired of so many pain pills, so many antidepressants, so many prescriptions, one after the other, and after the other, and not getting any relief. And then when they're able to, like our really good friend Dana, who went from 14 medications down to 2. So she dropped 12 of her medications. That is amazing. I mean, imagine remembering to take 14 different medications, and then now only needing to take 2. So we are super excited to share this with people. And like Rose said, she doesn't know where she'd be today if Rudy did not share this with her.
And that's one of probably dozens of people that have said that. I mean, we've been able to help a lot of people. The Lifewave company itself, like I said, Menace the same thing. I said I never heard of it, didn't even ever know anything about it. Today, they're the #1 momentum rank company in the world because some of the people that are part of our team have taken the company to the next level. You talk about, just very, very quick growth. The couple that we work with, Steve and Gina Merritt, are the fastest growing team in the whole world. So once again, our This Is It team's the fastest growing team within the fastest growing company within basically the networking industry. And so we talk about, once again, the #1 growth company. So they won the Bravo Award. And the way that the Direct Sales Network actually does this is literally they have it set up basically where they review the last 4 years, and whatever company's grown the most over the past 4 years actually wins this award. They said it's almost unheard of that a company at that time is obviously 16 years to 20 years, basically is the fastest growing company. Normally it's usually a startup, someone that just starts up and they basically have a growth at the very beginning. So to have a company do this is unheard of, but they won this award this year, which is pretty amazing. And this just gives an example. The green line basically is the company's sales basically in 2023, but then you look at the sales from our team, how it's just grown during 2023, basically look at that. And it's spiking ever since. It's growing by leaps and bounds. So how we make money is really simple. It really is. It's just sharing this with people. We ask people, say, do you know anything about stem cells? And a lot of people are like, yeah, I've done the research. I heard this, or yeah, I know some people got injections, this and that. And I said, I'd love to share something that's changed my life. And I tell them about my story. And then a lot of people say, well, what, where'd they get the stem cells from? They say, no, there's no stem cells in the product. It uses what the word that I had learned is photobiomodulation. I still have to say it slow. So that word basically is mean the same way when you go in the sun's rays hit our skin, which is our biggest organ, and elevates things in our body. Most people will know we get vitamin D from the sun. Well, the vitamin D is not pushed up in the sun. It's the sun's rays, the frequency that interacts with our skin. God's created our body to do this. So we interact with nature. So literally, basically, things get elevated and you become healthier. Well, with this, it's the same thing. We start sharing with people, and it's as easy as knowing 4 people to go what's called manager. And we'll explain that in a second. But if you get started as a brand partner, you get registered, kind of what I was sharing before, the couple different packs that are there. As a brand partner, now we bring in 2 people on the right and 2 people left. This is known as what they call a binary being 2. So we can only build a right leg and a left leg. So as people are in here, they start putting people on the right, and I put more people down, put people down, people on your left, we'll put more people down, put people down. So we've sponsored over 170 people personally, but now we have thousands of people in our team. Did we put them all in? No, people are putting people in on these 2 different groups, and it just grows exponentially. And so what happens here is just by you duplicating this business model, or basically this little building block here of 2 and 2, and we help this person get 2 and 2. We help this person get 2 and 2, help this person get 2 and 2. Now, when this person becomes a manager, and this person, say this person, or even this person becomes a manager, now what happens? You're known as a director. You can make up to $2,500 a week. As a manager, you make up to $1,500 a week. All the way up as you start growing, you can make up to $25,000 a week from this one way. This is one of 4 ways that we can actually make money. But on the binary itself, once again, as a manager, you can make up to $1,500. As a director, which is 2 managers, you basically can become a director making up to $2,500 a week. So I keep on wanting to make sure I say a week, because some people are used to monthly things. As a senior director, once again, that's 2 directors, you make up to $3,500 a week. And then once again, it goes from there. So then it's all based upon your volume. So we hit all these different ranks, and we hit the executive director rank at over 50,000 points. And what happened is that by that, within just about 7 weeks, it was under 2 months, we actually went presidential. So now we're presidential, and we're on our way to senior presidential. We've never seen growth like this. We've been in this industry for a long time, and we've never received income like this. We're like, this is amazing, because this is, once again, only one of 4 ways that you make money. The second way is the biggest way, which is, once again, an unlimited matching bonus. So again, what happens here is that if you register someone as a brand partner, now you get 25% of their binary, depending on how much you're making. So let's say they're making $1,000 a week. You get now $250 a week by helping them do that. Now, if they make $100 a week, you make 25. When they get to 200, you make 50. So on and so forth. It just keeps on growing and growing and growing. But then these people are talking to other people in order to make that kind of money. They're finding other people. You get 20% of what those people do. And these people talk to other people, and they say get 20% of what they do. And so once again, these matching bonuses are huge. So I'll use a real life example. I'll use a person who brought us in. His name's Ken Burke, great guy. He said he says okay to use this, and we're just going to use the example because he's making more than $10,000 a week. Let's assume he's making $10,000 a week. So if it's $10,000 a week, imagine you registering someone like that. Imagine you making $2,500 a week from just that one person. Again, you're going to be talking to a lot more. You can find as many people as you want. And what happens now is that person, Ken, has sponsored over 170 people, and we're one of them. Imagine getting 20% of what we're making, 20% of all these other people that are making that. And then we've sponsored over 170 people imagine making 20% of that. But this is how people are making over $100,000 US. In fact, some of the guys we talked to just recently, they said they know people are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a week. Dollars a week from this part of the business, which is pretty amazing. So, but I use the example all the time. We could talk huge figures, but again, it's going to take effort. It's going to take time, just like anything else. Like Rose was talking about taking time with the product. Same thing with the business. It's consistently and persistently going out there and talking to people and just sharing, letting people know.
But in fact, we haven't seen anything like this where people can make money straight away.
Yes.
So, I mean, in all honesty, it really is a blessing. And I just wanted to say, it's not, the thing is, it's this matching bonus is not like you taking away anything from anybody else.
It's all part of it.
And everybody gets paid off of team effort because it's team.
Yep.
When we work together, we help each other. Helping people that are part of your team actually helps us.
Yep.
Or helps you, your team. you
Yes.
know, so we all grow together. And that's the blessing of this. Not one person is winning without the other. We all win together.
Absolutely. And it's neat because again, it's the same thing I was talking about before. So we want people to get started at the wholesale price. So the packs we recommend from a business building standpoint is once again, the gold pack or above. The reason why you want to have some extra product that you can utilize to share with others. We signed up at the diamond level because I said, I want to get as much product as I can, because even Ken said to me, he goes, Greg, he said, imagine having 10,000 acres of farmland with fertile soil ready for seed. How much seed would you want? I said, I want a tractor trailer load. We're going to have a harvest. He goes, because that's what it's like right now. It's just fertile soil. 9 out of 10 people, 99, it seems like out of 100 people we talk to, don't even know this product exists. So we have a window here for the next 3 to 5 years plus that literally in 76 plus countries around the world, you literally can develop business and literally have your business just growing and growing and growing. Because so many people like going, as soon as they find out about it, they go, oh my goodness, this is amazing. But what happened, we spent again to get 19 sleeves is the cheapest price. It's $84 a sleeve. Basically we paid $1,600 plus tax and shipping, like $1,700. And we just started sharing. We tell people, say, hey, if you want to get started, we recommend getting started, and we'll lend you one of our sleeves today because you want to get started today, right? They're like, oh yeah. I said, great. So they say, well, put a patch on me. So great. We open up the pack, give them a patch. And then I said, when your pack comes in about a week, just give me one back. And so they take their brand new pack and give me one back. So we just start exchanging back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Well, 2.5 weeks later, we literally made our money back. So, I mean, that's not bad. Within the first month, we made over $2,800, our very first month. A lot of people are going, well, is it just, can I expect that? Well, we talk to a lot of people. We recommend doing the same thing.
And you know what, if you're thinking that this is just for the United States,
No.
because we have people from Europe and South Africa on here, this is happening with our South African partners as well, and Europe.
Yes.
So it's not just you know, America
and Australia
and New Zealand. So
and the Philippines. And
so, you know, don't look at the numbers and look at the fact that it's in dollar amounts and say, oh my gosh, you know, this is not going to work. You know what? And I don't know if Brendan's on here this evening, but you know, he can actually vouch. He's in South Africa, 22-year-old. He bought the diamond pack. He invested.
He said, Greg, will you help me make my money back in the first 30 days? I said, absolutely.
And we helped him make his money back.
And we'll help everybody else do the same thing. And so the key to this is some people say, well, I don't know if I can start there. Well, start here. You can always upgrade. Even if someone starts at a silver, they can upgrade. You pay the difference. It's the most fair system I've ever seen, the most fair company. They say, well, you paid already $300. So now you pay basically to get to $500. You just pay the $200 difference and you've already gotten 3 sleeves. So we'll just give you 2 more sleeves, you know, for that to match up. And say if you're at the gold, you say, well, I want to get to the diamond level. And we'll explain a little more about that. But at the diamond level, what happens is that when you're a diamond and you register someone as a diamond, you make $500. If you're a silver and gold to register someone as a diamond, you make only $200. Nothing wrong with that. That's $200 is a lot of money for a lot of people. But for that, I tell people all the time, I say, if you can do that, we can help you make your money back real quickly. But even for whatever it is, we can help you make that money back very quickly. But with the silver or the gold, you basically need to be on what's called 2-sleeve auto ship, especially with the gold. In order to become a manager, director, everything else, you have to be at the gold level or above, and you got to be in 2-sleeve auto ship. If someone just wants to be a customer, they can basically just get silver and be on 1-sleeve auto ship if they want to. But for the builders, this is the key here, because you get the max potential, compensation plan. And also you keep all the points. And again, I recommend there's a video on our team website that explains more about that. So thisisitteam.com explains exactly what we do, how we do it. And it says compensation plan. We recommend going on there. The 3rd video down. The first video is fantastic from Stephen G. Namera. We recommend that. Gives a very great high level overview of it, explains more details. So you get a good idea what it is. But if you want the details of the details, then you can go to the 3rd video down from Danny McDaniel. Steve Maris made over $50 million in the industry prior to coming to Lifewave. Danny McDaniel was over $45 million prior to coming to Lifewave. So we always tell people these guys know how to build huge teams and make a lot of money. And they both said this is the best compensation plan they've ever seen. Absolutely staggering. So the team that we work with, this is a team within less than 2 years, they've already put in over 160,000 people. So do you think people are looking? Yeah, people are looking. It's pretty amazing. So we have a system that we use. I don't know if you're talking about that.
So for any business to be successful, you need to have a system in place. And our system is called the PRO strategy. P standing for patch, or at least exposing, talking to people, at least 3 on a daily basis. You've got to be consistent. If you're going to go out there and market, you want to be able to build up and consistency, which will create momentum. Then revisit, follow up with the person, Because, you know, people need to know that you actually care. You're not just going to get in their face and talk to them about something and not then follow up and answer their questions. So follow up, revisit, answer the questions they may have. Opportunity is inviting them to Zoom like we're having right now. Or if a Zoom is happening in the evening in the States, or in your afternoon in Europe or Great Britain or South Africa, jump on those Zooms. You want to be able to see it more than one time, and you want to be able to invite your guests there. So you don't have to be the only voice that is speaking to them. They can hear from other people their experience and how they present this as well. So PRO strategy, if you get good at that, you're going to have a great business, a strong business, and it's going to be growing all over the world while you're sleeping, you know. And I love this about Mike, Mike Sahi, Mike and Sahi Hernandez and Stephen Gina Merritt. They say, you know, when we sleep at night, we sleep with a smile on our face, and we get these smile lines because our business is working. People in our business in South Africa, in Europe, and in Australia are still awake, and they're doing the business. And when you guys are sleeping, you sleep with a smile on your face because we're building the business while you're sleeping. So you know what? This is doable. It's around the world, and you don't know who is going to be in, who's going to get in your business. So why keep your mouth shut? What's the worst they can say to you? No, not interested. So next, there's billions of people to talk to around the world. And everyone, the secret is, what's the secret? Everybody has stem cells. We all have stem cells.
And everybody's looking for optimal health. And that's the key to that too. And once again, peak performance athletes are always looking for the edge, the little thing that makes a difference. And a lot of them are using this, which is absolutely amazing. So there's different Zoom events that you could definitely go on to. So today being Memorial Day, we do not have any Zoom events from the This Is It team. So there's not the normal meeting at 8 o'clock, but there is Tuesday, tomorrow, they're going to have meetings that are going to be out of Great Britain. And then they got Sydney that are doing different ones. Wednesday, Steve and Gina will be doing the meeting. I think they're live in one of the different cities. So they'll be broadcasting from one of the cities they're going to be doing the events at. And then Friday is basically a 12 o'clock meeting, which again, the people from South Africa and Europe can tie into. Again, that's going to be depending on your time, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, wherever you're at.
And you can get onto the meeting in Britain, in the UK, because I think that's 10 o'clock South African time, 10 p.m. So for those of you who late sleepers, jump on there. But don't miss the training on a Saturday. On a Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard, which is 7 p.m. South African time, and Europe, parts of Europe. You want to jump on, because together, if we learn together, we grow together.
Absolutely.
And we don't have to repeat the same thing 20 times to 20 different people. They hear it one time together, and we're growing together. So jump on Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard.
And then also, these are all recorded, but even Thursday, they got the Zoom meetings in Spanish. So habla español, that's you want to know people who speak Spanish. I want to do that, but it's actually on the YouTube channel. All these are recorded, so you can actually go back and look at that. I highly recommend to people who really want to build a big business, start going to the previous Saturday trainings, start watching those, and you'll see what happens. Is amazing. So they're actually they went to Puerto Rico, West Palm, Orlando. So this on the 28th, which is tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. They're going to be in Oklahoma City. We got people going to that meeting in Houston. They're going to be got people on the 29th. We got people going to Dallas, Minnesota. I don't think we had any Minnesotas on there, eh? So there are people we got people going to Dayton and Cincinnati. We're going to be in St. Louis, which is pretty awesome. So we're going to that meeting, and we got people for the Quad Cities. So if you see this, once again, take a snapshot of this. It's also on This Is It team, and it talks about events going on, and basically you can see where the different
and they'll come to your country.
Yes.
You build it, they'll come.
Last but not least, we want to share this as the last thing, as far as if you really are serious about your goals and dreams. I'm going to move myself out of the way because I think when the recording is actually here covering this. So if you're serious about your goals and dreams, this is the most important part of any kind of business, is a convention. So when you talk about getting together, going to a convention, learning what people do, how they do it from the top leaders, and specific instructions on what they do and how they do it, you will come out of there with a level of belief like you've never had before. But the other part of that, you'll have exactly what you need to do. A lot of people go to these different events like Tony Robbins. They're great, but you're all excited. Well, what do I do first? Here they tell you step by step what to do, how to do it, and get to the next level. Our first convention went to is actually in Tampa. We were at the director level. Now we're presidential. Our goal is to be senior presidential by this convention here. So you talk about the difference. We know people that went from basically nothing to literally they're making a lot of money, like 2, 3, 5, 10 times their income what they used to make within a year. It's pretty amazing what can happen. So again, scan that and basically register for it. We just had a bunch of new people get registered and they're registered for the conference. This will sell out. I can
And
tell you that right now.
for those who are out of the USA, living abroad, you can attend a virtual event, and there is a link to
Yes.
get registered for the virtual event. And
But it's right on there. It's the same link.
yeah, and
Yeah.
and so the other thing is, once you purchase the virtual ticket, you have 45 days to actually
view it after.
view the event. So it's a long time. You can view it over days and you know, invite some people over, share it with them as well. So but we are we almost done?
I want to
Okay.
we got to share. We appreciate everybody getting on, but we have a couple of things that we
Yeah, we're
want to
going to
share.
be done in a minute.
Yeah, we got a couple of things. We're always, because we do this on Tuesday nights for the team that are here in the US, but we also want to do this for the people here because there's recognition that we want to talk about, because it's something that has really made a huge difference. And people say, you know, well, is the team growing? It's like, it's not growing just a little bit. It's growing huge. So one thing we always want to recognize is the different levels for people just in the past week. This is not even all the people yet. We're still waiting to get back from a few other people, because there's other managers and directors that have actually broke just on our team personally. So we talk about, you know, again, a manager being just 2 people on the right, 2 people on the left is actually helping those people as your gold level, helping 2 silvers and above on the right, 2 on the left. You become a manager. We want to recognize people for doing that. But then the second thing with the director is the next level, just by helping someone become a manager, another person become a manager. You got to have 3 personally sponsored on each side, but basically one of them becoming a manager on the left and one on the right. So we have a bunch of new managers. Now, again, some of these people, I don't even know who they are. I do know that then Ron Snyder and Emmerich are actually someone from Joe Finn's team that he helped go manager, which is pretty amazing when it happens. What happens when you put 2 managers? It's pretty amazing what happens. But Dr. Rick Barrick, Dr. A. Peen,
Trisha Tegler, Emmerich
yeah.
Finn.
Yeah, Emmerich Finn. And then
Managers in our business.
yes, and then just
And
this
then-
past week, and then Dr. Amy Wicks is a chiropractor actually in St. Louis. She hit director literally last Tuesday, just before the call. So she wasn't announced on our meeting here, but she's phenomenal. And then Joe Finn, of course, by helping 2 people go manager, guess what happens? You're a new director. So Joe's actually going to be on our meeting actually tomorrow night, and actually just sharing for a little bit, which is absolutely fantastic. But again, this is just an example of just the people that even just past week, this is what happened past week. And we don't even have all the people on here, or all the people that I'll list the names, because we've been asking people today, hey, please send us the names. They're used to having it ready for Tuesday night. So pretty amazing, you know, all the things that are going on. The last thing I want to share is, again, where's it at here? Sorry, let me stop sharing. Is oh, here we go. I'm going to share it this way. The competition, or not the competition, sorry, the incentive trip that is coming up, literally in the US. That's not what I want to do. I want to share my screen again. In the US, hopefully I got the right thing. There we go. In the US, we're starting the trip. We just started this, literally just tracking this. Hopefully everybody can see this here. So literally we're starting to track where people are at as far as points. We call them punta points, because here in the US, it's basically in the US, Canada, Mexico. We're going to be going to Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. So we've been already at 7 trips this past year to these from different places. I'm losing track. So Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic, in South Africa and Europe, you're going to Morocco. So we want to start putting in people's points that they're at so far. So we got, once again, some people that basically Josh has put some people in here. We've put some other people in here. Brendan, I don't know if he's on here, but he just may not even realize he's already got 18 points by registering people, upgrading people, everything else. I love that, because Josh is always like, hey, I want to be, you know, number 1 here. He's at 13. So Josh has got Sherry Zink at 20, but we're going to be recognizing people for this. And I just put some in here. I don't even know everybody's what they're at.
Just track your points.
Yes.
You know, you got to track your points for yourself. And I think this is doable. Everybody can go on these trips. Everybody can make it, because honestly, it's based on who you're talking to and who's going to sign in and upgrades. So everybody can make it. You don't need to be a senior presidential director. If you hit senior director level, which a lot of you are very close, you will get the trip.
Yes.
For two tickets, 2 flight tickets, and for 2 people fully paid.
Yep, either to Punta Cana or to.
And for those of us who are past the senior director, we have to earn the points. So we have to go out there and just do the work like everybody else. So let us help you get there. We want everyone to get there. Take your track form out, keep tracking. And you know, if you need help, reach out to us. We'll do whatever it takes to get, you know, to help you get those points per week.
Yep.
And to help you talk to your people. But we're here. We want to get there. You want to get there. Let's go vacation together.
Absolutely. So there's 14 weeks left of this. It started back in basically April 29th. It goes through September 1st. So basically, in order to qualify as a senior director, you have to be qualified for 6 weeks. So basically 6 weeks. So I said, basically, I think it's July, mid-July that you basically have to be last time you can qualify for that. But again, you want to be 6 weeks of qualification. If not, you do the points. That's why we're tracking the points. And as people get senior director done, we're start checking, yep, go on the trip. But again, if you're a manager, director, or senior director, you get a point per week for every single one. So we're adding the points up for these. When you personally rank up, you basically, if you become a manager, you get 2 points. If you become a director, you get 4 points, so on and so forth. So once again, and if you become a senior director, are qualified. But if you help someone and you sign them up as a preferred customer, or a silver, or a gold, or a diamond, you get points for this. One thing that's a little trick that we learned, and we're still validating this, but if you sign up somebody, you actually can earn all the points by just upgrading them. And the same thing is basically for a manager, as helping them do that, you earn the points on that too. So once again, this is actually on the back office of This Is It team downloads. Go to the download section and you'll hear there print it off so we can track everybody on that. I know we talked very fast about it, but I wanted to recognize people and at least let them know about this amazing
welcome
incentive.
to the team, Jess. I believe you got registered today as a new diamond out of South Africa.
Fantastic.
So welcome to the team, and great job, Crystal.
Yes.
We appreciate you guys. We know you're going to do some great things in the business. And we're so proud of everybody who's on here. You know, a lot of you have hit the rank of manager already. A lot of you have hit director rank. And the wonderful thing is that you're all sharing and you're giving people hope. So the only way to hit these ranks is because you're talking to people.
Yep.
And people are being blessed by you. So we're so grateful.
What's right above Evan's head there? Blessed. We're all blessed.
Oh yeah.
I love that.
No, and welcome to Evan.
Yes.
To Abby as well for
new diamonds.
New diamonds in our business here in Sarasota area.
Yep.
So welcome on board, guys. And we're here to help everyone. So reach out to us if you have any questions. Good to see you, Janet. Good to see Jason on, and Carolyn, and Crystal, Evan, Gary. I'm going through the names. Gary, Ada,
everybody.
Lisa,
such an awesome team.
Mackie, Ricardo, Rose, and I think 1 or 2 people. Graham, I believe, has had to jump off. So some people had to jump off. Yep. Shanaz, Taryn, Candace. Candace, you may have jumped on a little later. We didn't see you earlier, but if you have any questions. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That Austin also signed up as a diamond. So did Gary.
Yes,
2 weeks ago. So
yeah. Congratulations,
there's a trend
Gary.
diamond. Yes.
Acres of diamonds. Candace, welcome. If you have any questions, please get back with the person that invited you and let us help you. Okay. But well done to all of you. Congratulations.
Yep.